I don't do schools need Pride Month? I feel like I don't think so. I don't think they do. I don't think you do. We have gay people, we have trans people. You can be gay, be trans, be lesbian. Why not? Because you just don't. Well, hold on. It's not a why not. The question is, why do you need something, right? You have to provide the affirmative. And I don't see there being a compelling reason to have Pride Month in school. Do schools need to talk about Black History Month? I feel like Black History Month is different because, one, it's a way less charged subject in terms of like, well, actually, I guess conservatives would argue that it's not, because they get mad over the CRT shit, although unironically, the CRT shit, a lot of it was really cringe. But I think you can make a compelling reason to have a Black History Month, because I think there are compelling reasons to recognize Black contributions to United States history that maybe weren't as recognized in the past. Black history is American history, et cetera, et cetera. But like, what Pride Month is I'm not sure. I don't know what it means anymore. Like, if it was the case that celebrating Pride, God, it sounds so gay to even say it. Pride, that's so lame. I'm sorry. But if it was the case that like Pride Month was like, oh, this is when we recognize like the contributions that sexually marginalized people throughout history have made to society that have been, shirked or swept under the rug or whatever. I think that'd be fine. But like, it's morphed into so much more. Like, I feel like Black history, as funny as it is, I feel like Black History Month is not as like hotly politicized right now as like everything revolving around the Pride shit. Same goes for Black something month. Why are we trying to sell something if it should be considered a non-issue? It's not like they're pushing something new. It's just like, generally speaking, there might be some exceptions, but I think generally speaking, if you talk about like Black History Month, I think most people are like, yeah, okay, we could do Black History Month, that's fine. But when you say Pride, there's a whole bunch of current like activist related stuff that gets swept into Pride related things. And I feel like it's such a hot button like political topic. Like, why turn the school into a battleground for that? And it's not even like nowadays too, it's not even Pride and it's not even LGBT. Like, this is what we're talking about now. It's like, it's LGB. Like, this is like what every single Pride and every single like LGBTQI plus like, this is what we're talking about now anyway. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon schools should do then? No one gives a fuck about bi or gay people. Yeah, I feel like we don't even care about bi or gay people anymore. Do you think schools should just avoid politically charged topics? I think it's appropriate to bring up some conversations like in classrooms or whatever, but in terms of like turning the school into like a battleground over a politically charged topic, I don't think it's a good idea unless you have a really compelling reason to do so. So because some retards ruin it, the entire thing should be thrown out. Welcome to every single law that has ever existed in the history of the entire planet. Yes, that is true. Yes. Because some retards can't have a little bit of fun with heroin, we got to make it illegal. Because some retards kill themselves with firearms, you got to get a license to buy a pistol. Because some retards abuse alcohol too much, you get locked up with your... Yes, that is every single law, rule, and regulation in history is written in the blood of some fucking retard that didn't use it correctly. That is true. Yes. Would Pride Month be more okay in your eyes if it was less exaggerated, just some rainbows and maybe a PSA announcement? Like, I don't think that, okay, mind ways, you're not engaging in good faith. I'm not answering your retarded questions. Would Pride Month be okay in your eyes if it was less exaggerated? I think if it was less of a, like, lightning rod, like right now, Pride is like a lightning rod for political discourse in the United States. Like, it is like, this is like the battle. It is probably the preeminent social battle right now that's happening across the United States and through state legislatures. So, I don't know. The idea of like roping school into that just feels really like, ugh. Black History Month was also a lightning rod. Black History Month might have been a lightning rod, and who knows, maybe history will show me wrong. I'm sure Black History Month was a lightning rod to some extent, but I feel like black people had an inarguable, an unequivocal moral authority to thrust that upon us. The idea that black people and white people shouldn't be in segregated schools, that civil rights ought to extend and be protected by all Americans. I feel like you have a very big moral authority when you're fighting on those grounds. All the stuff related to like hormones and kids and all that and adult and sexual books, all that is way more nebulous. It's way more nebulous. There are certain issues that even if they are lightning rod issues, I think they probably are worth fighting over. I think that like desegregation, women's suffrage, abolition of slavery. These are probably topics where it's like, yeah, this is worth it to stake out strike positions. Fuck it, through almost all areas of society. But the pride stuff, can you give us organizing issues that are less morally clear? Sometimes it feels like we're just saying black civil rights are cut and dry because we have the benefit of hindsight. I mean, I can't argue because I didn't exist 100 years ago, so who knows if I would have been pro or against civil rights, I guess. Hopefully I would have been in favor of it. What do you want?
Okay. So first of all, I'm just trying to understand your position. Okay. So not trying to come at you in bad faith or anything like that. Not trying to do a got you. But what is it about pride that you think makes it inappropriate for schools?
I think the fact that these are like the most contentious issues in society right now, and 95% of pride discourse is going to get rolled up into like non-binary and trans shit, just makes it not worth fighting about on school campuses. When even the adults don't have like a clear-cut answer of like what is right or wrong on any side, it just seems stupid to throw schools into that battleground as well.
Sure. I mean, I kind of understand what you mean. It's highly contentious, especially the trans issue right now.
Which is what 99% of like quote unquote pride is right now, right? It's probably going to be dealing with trans stuff.
No,
I'll be generous. I'll say 92%.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, I think that the front for the political battle of like LGBT rights right now seems to be.
Well, again, it's not. We're not even talking about LGBT right. We're just talking about T rights right now. Is generally what is.
Well, no, we're talking about pride, and you're doing this. You're conflating pride with just trans issues, right? Or you're like equating those as if it's like a 1-to-1.
That's what it feels like socially right now. But who knows? Maybe it won't be. But I have a feeling that if the Pride Month goes through at all these schools or whatever, like 90% of the discourse is going to be on trans stuff.
Well, I don't see pride at school as being discourse. I don't think that's like...
Wait, how is it not?
Like, well, not in the sense that it's like having a pride event at school isn't like welcoming debate about these issues, right?
Well, it can either be one of two ways. Either one, it's welcoming debate, which is probably not good on these topics in school right now, or two, it's not welcoming debate, in which case you're telling the kids and their parents they just have to accept it as dogmatic and they can't even argue against it. Like I feel like
the question would be, what are we asking them to accept, right?
Probably that gender isn't real. Probably that
no, I reject this. I don't think that any school is like, or like, do you think that that's like what these pride events are about? Is like pushing that ideology?
That's what it feels like right now. I could be wrong, but
based on what?
Based on like how I see all of the discourse on Twitter going when it comes to like these types of things.
Based off of, okay, so you're basing your impression of pride events at school on Twitter discourse. Like this feels a little terminally online, right?
You understand that all the T discourse is terminally online, right? That the crowd on Twitter, young, wealthy, white children, are also the exact same overlapping people that are in schools identifying as like non-binary, right? Like it's probably going to be the closest match to the demographic of that entire crowd that you will ever find in your life.
Sure, but that seems like a non sequitur. Like, what does that
It's
have to
not
do
a
with
non
anything?
sequitur. What I'm telling you is that it feels like the dominating topics around like trans discourse right now are like you're using not you, but the trans stuff is being used to smuggle in a whole bunch of arguments about like self-ID trans people, gender
I
abolition.
agree. The ideology is behind it is bad a lot of the times.
Well, I'm not even saying it's bad. I'm not even trying to. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that it's very, very, very loaded, and that if that discourse starts happening in other sections, it's probably going to carry over to that as well. I wouldn't like when you see Pride on Twitter, it's people arguing about like can't get Pride, and it's people arguing about like self-ID and hormones for kids. Why would Pride at school just be like, oh well, like we shouldn't kill gay people? Like, do you really think that's where it's gonna?
Because Pride at school isn't like a Twitter debate about like Pride, right? It's just an event where the school is like, all right, well, we're going to celebrate Pride this week or month, or I don't know, whatever the event looks like for the school, just to sort of like have an air of acceptance for people like that. It doesn't have to be
I don't even
highly
know if
contentious.
I don't even know how much like lack of acceptance there is right now for LGBT people. Like, it feels like the entire thing is going to be centered around trans people, but trans people.
If you live in the South or any rural town, I mean, people are still very not accepting of gays, like, or any flavor of queer. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Like, if you live in the South, and you're a gay person, I feel like a Pride event would feel important to you. No.
I mean, like, it might, but if you want to go to places that aren't accepting of gay people, it's going to be like a billion times worse for trans people, and it's probably all going to center around like the trans thing.
What do you mean by that?
As in, all of Pride is going to be about trans discourse. That's what it feels like.
I don't agree. Like, I've been to Pride, like actual like Pride events, like marches and shit, and it's not like all of that revolves around trans people, right?
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see. I see literally nothing good coming out of this, though, and it's just going to be this school did this, and this school did that, and this school did this for trans, blah, 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 and that's what's going to dominate the discourse. But, I mean, I guess we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe. All right, I just wanted to see what you actually thought about that and expand your ideas. But all right, I'll piss off.
Be careful, babe. I love you.